2020 season, sporting season was. And first of all, we'll start with the Kenyan champions, Gor Mahia, who are away to Algeria. Record Kenyan champions Gor Mahia ended the year on a sour note, Gor Mahia having suffered a 6-0 humiliating defeat against CRZ Belouizdad in the first leg of the second preliminary round of the CAF Champions League game played in Algeria on Saturday. The Kenyan champions will have a chance to overturn the deficit on January 5th in Nairobi. However, the heavy loss caps a bad year for Kenyan football. And those are the images of what transpired in Algeria. And now I would like to invite Sami Kitulo and that is Stephen Ruto all the way from Eldoret. Gentlemen, karibuni sana.
Thank you.
Yes, Gor Mahia, they are being whipped 6-0 in the CAF Champions League. Remember, these are the record Kenyan champions. Many fans expected a lot from Gor Mahia, but from that performance, it's as good as Gor Mahia out. I don't know what you made of it, Sami Kitula.
When you say many people had expectations, good expectations of them, I'm just laughing here. Because when you beget mediocrity, that's what you reap. Look at how those guys prepared for the match. This is a team that is being termed to be the biggest team in Kenya today. But what do you get year in, year out? Just mediocre results. I mean, for a champion of your league to go out there and lose the way they did is laughable. Again, their preparation. I mean, you don't go to a battle expecting good results, but when you put in your training skills and whatever you have is laughable. One, they look at how they were dressed. It could be so minute for many people to read, but it plays up in your psychology. These guys didn't have any even tracksuit. They were relying on Akinambanis and other good well-wishers for them to be treated. Even the FKF gave them some kits for their national team around the start. Secondly, they didn't have a coach. You're going to a battle and your general is being handicapped. So you're told, now, you can have a stepping general who can help you in the battle. What do you expect? So I didn't expect much from them because even they did better last year. Getting almost to the group, out of the group, it was better. But this time round, it was worse. And I can tell you for free, if this is the kind of football that we are having today, then I don't see any future, in both our club and also our national team.
That is the Standard Sports sub-editor, Sami Kitula there. And when he tells you that he didn't expect much, of course, you've got to take his word seriously because he's been following the team. I don't know, from Eldoret, Stephen Ruto, if you've been following Gor Mahia, and did you expect anything better from them?
I did not expect anything better, and the devastating loss speaks volumes about how casually we are taking football and how inadequate we are prepared as a country and as clubs to excel in football. I didn't expect much.
Yeah, of course, Stephen Ruto there, our reporter from Eldoret Sports, as well as news reporter. He's covered so many athletes. He knows what it takes, to get a good performance. You've seen how those athletes apply themselves, waking up very early in the morning, going down the Iten escarpment and then coming up. You want to expect also football clubs to put in the kind of seriousness that we see in athletics.
Yes, although athletics is an individual sport,
yes.
But again, much effort should be put to ensure that we take our football to the next level. If we try to compare, like we sent athletes to the Olympic Games, have we sent a Kenyan team to the World Cup? The answer is no. It's because of the efforts that we are not putting to ensure that we have our football up.
Sami, that performance, like you said, that you didn't expect much, does it paint a picture of Kenyan football, especially 2020? Of course, we've had the excuse of COVID-19, the pandemic. But overall, Sami, would you say that we are headed in the correct direction or the proper direction in as far as football development is concerned?
Absolutely not. We are headed to the devil's gate. Tell you what, if we don't have youth structure, which at the moment we don't, we keep saying that we do in Kenya, then it replicates at the club level as well as the national team level. How did Harambee Stars perform right from the AFCON? You could see a disjointed team. We lost to Comoros just the other day. There's no way we could not have picked maximum points from Comoros. To many people, it could seem like another day, because guys will tell you in football, you win, you lose, you draw. But then again, whom are you losing to? How are you playing? Even if you're losing, you should see some team, some consistency of some sort. In Kenya, we are lacking that. Why? Because we don't have grassroots structures, youth structures set up. In other countries, even in Africa, look at the West Africa, Senegal, Nigeria, the Cameroon. Those guys have very strong youth structures, and those youth structures will act as feeder teams to the national teams and then promote the club level. That's why most of these clubs are doing very well. Yeah. So there's no way you'd expect to win at the top while at the bottom you guys are losing. We should start from the grassroots. The grassroots is where we are going to get youth teams. Youth teams will feed in the club, and the clubs will support the national team. And that's why other countries like the UK, which of course most of us follow religiously, their league there. Those guys have youth structures that can sustain their clubs for years to come. In Kenya, we just expect things to happen. Things don't just happen. You need to involve people. You need to invest a lot of money, infrastructure, time, and facilities. If we don't do that, then we don't expect any miracles to happen. As it is now, what we are expecting are just miracles, windfall to come our way, which now won't be the case because it will just be a stopgap measure.
Yeah, you've got to put in the shift. Of course, you have to sweat it out. Ruto, would you say that in football terms, 2020 is a lost year, given that the national team is now struggling to get to the qualifying slot of the African Cup of Nations, and of course, again, the youth teams, under 17, under 20, they were beaten in the regional championship, and many people saying that there's no hope in all that. Would you say that 2020 is written off?
Okay, it's been a challenging year, and all sports were affected by the coronavirus pandemic, and football, like athletics, was not spared. And we cannot say that we are losing hope. The first thing, we have to put the structures in place to ensure that our football is on top. We could be lacking the structures, we could be lacking the basic trainings, and we could be missing the point in a lot of areas. And we need to now start thinking, even as we go to 2021, of how to better our football and shine, even if not globally. At least we shine in Africa. Sure. It's a challenge, but we need to up our game, put in place our structures, and rethink about our football and our strategy.
Okay. Amidst all that, of course, there are those who also thrive amid adversity, because Michael Olunga, the Harambee Stars striker, has had a breakthrough year, and playing for Kashiwa Reysol in Japan. He's had that successful season, having been named the most valuable player in the Japanese league, and finished also as a top scorer with 28 goals. And Sami Kitula, amid all that gloom, this Michael Olunga has overcome all the odds to make sure that he ends on the top in Japan. Of course, his team, Kashiwa Reysol, finished the 7th, but he got the MVP award, also the top scorers award. What do you think of Michael Olunga?
Well, Michael Olunga's advancing in his career has been commendable, right from his time at Upper Hill all the way to club level, around the stars, and then the club level, professionally. This guy is a person who has tremendous positives ahead of him. When you look at Olunga is a person who blends well education and sport. And that's why I keep telling my sports guys, the players, that you need to have some strong background when it comes to education for you to prosper. Olunga is an epitome of that. Again, I used to challenge Olunga, you've conquered the Asian league, the Japanese league. Try out something that is more challenging, because guys were saying, the Japanese league is not as strong as other European leagues, so you need to try something. Why not? The guy is still young. He still has a very good future ahead of him. But what he did was just put a smile on top of our face. Having seen a very boring, a very negative season, of course, coupled with the corona thing. But I think he surpassed all that, because besides having been laid off for quite a long time, these guys keep proving that you can do it. And all the time, I tell people, combine education and sport. You won't regret it.
Yes, Ruto, looking at Olunga, we know from the newspaper report that we have today and what we've been covering also, Olunga really performed really well at high school, and he joined the Technical University of Nairobi, but because of Kenya, but because of his professional career, he has put on hold his studies. I'm told he's doing geospatial engineering, and that's why they call him Engineer Olunga. Among the athletes, we've seen some of them also excel academically and also on the field. Do you think that Olunga's rise in Japan and also Harambee Stars will inspire so many other kids in secondary schools and primary?
Sure. Athletes, a good number of them are now balancing between the athletics career and the academic careers, and they have excelled well. Seen a number of athletes now pursuing their degree courses and at the same time engaging in races. And it's a good thing. It's quite inspirational. There are many today, when you look at some junior athletics training camps, most of them are connected, most of these young athletes are connected to scholarship opportunities in secondary schools, where they're encouraged to excel in the academics and also take part in the school competitions, and they are winning. We are seeing them winning in school competitions and at the same time excelling in the academic careers. We've also seen in the recent past the number of scholarships to foreign countries, mainly the United States, increasing with many students migrating to the US to take part in athletics competition after excelling in school games in Kenya. And we've seen them, they've excelled.
Yes, I'm joined by Rogers Eshtemi now. Rogers, that was a wonderful article in the Standard newspaper, and just in case you don't have your copy, you can still make your way to the newsstands, or also log in onto www.standardmedia.co.ke and go to the sports section. We have that interesting story on Michael Olunga. Eshtemi, did it surprise you that Olunga was voted the most valuable player in the Japanese league and also finishing as the top scorer, or it was expected?
First of all, morning, Toskin. Not really. Looking at how this guy has been performing over the years, I think it was just a matter of time as and when he could achieve that feat, because he has been a person whose success has been following all along from his childhood up to where he is right now. Look what he did at Gor Mahia in 2015. I think he scored 19 goals and emerged the MVP of the Kenyan Premier League that season. He went to Sweden. He scored a number of goals before crossing over to China. And then he went to Girona, where he became the first African, or rather first Kenyan, to score a hat-trick in the La Liga. I think that happened in a span of 22 minutes on his debut, actually. So him achieving this feat in Japan, it was coming. And remember, he had also done a magic by scoring 8 goals in a single match while they were in League 2, that is in 2019 season, before they were promoted to the top flight. So he's a person who has been scoring goals, and it was a matter of time before maybe he got this recognition. So it is a great fit for him, and I'm happy for him.
That is Rogers Ishtemi, our reporter, and he's done a fantastic story in the Standard newspaper today. Now, 2020, as we are discussing, was a very eventful year, and FKF finally held polls after nearly 1 year standoff. And we look at that. Ishtemi, FKF, right from 2019, December 7th, they put off the elections, but finally on October 19th, we had FKF President Nick Mwendwa being re-elected with an overwhelming majority. What did you make of that almost 1 year? Did FKF waste a lot of time, and have they had now time to recover from all that transpired during that acrimonious election period?
I think it was saddening for Kenyan to be held back by not holding election as expected. But that is now behind us, and I think it's now time for the Nick Mwendwa and his regime now to continue from where they left off, because we perceive that we need to perform much better. We need to have an organized league. We need to have good grassroots football. And this is the time now Mwendwa and his regime should take on and do what is expected. Definitely, he'll have a lot of challenges, but having had first year already in office, he's not new to it. So I think he need now to maybe, being the second term, try to maybe capitalize on what he never did in his first time in office. Definitely, as I've said, it's not going to be a walk in the park. Remember, Harambee Stars getting involved into AFCON qualification as well, while local expectations are always high. And then also here is the league, which the federation has officially taken charge of. And also there's a women league, there's a lower tier leagues, which everybody will be hoping the federation will try to make, maybe they reach the international standard. So there's a lot of things on his table that he needs maybe to ensure they run smoothly.
Your final thoughts, Sami, before we move to another topic. What would be your advice to FKF and especially Nick Mwendwa after that protracted electioneering process that eventually Kenyans said, or the football stakeholders said, that he was the right, that he's the right person to lead the federation? Kitula.
Yeah, him being considered to be the right person to lead the federation, then he needs to show the positive way of doing things, because as it is, he's not been doing the best of his job. Considering that we had so much expectation, of course, compared with the previous regime. So we thought this broom would sweep the room cleaner and faster, but as it is, it has not been the case. And all the time we keep seeing blunders here, blunders there. But all the same, I keep saying, people, we are human beings, yeah? And in this case, we can give him the benefit of doubt. But then he needs to prove us wrong, or otherwise we'll prove him. We know and confirm that he wasn't the best, fit person to do this. But having said that, there is room for improvement. We've seen quite positive from the current administration. But there's more to do. And for them to do that, now that this coming year, we hope for the best, of course, expecting the worst. We have so much, or he has so much in his interest, right from the national team, the women's team, the club level, these money matters and administration teams. He needs to put them straight. Otherwise, by the end of the day, he won't be any different from the previous regime.
Thank you very much. Now, we would like to take a short break, and when we come back, we look at the Kenyans who set world records in athletics. Please don't go away as we discuss and wrap up the year 2020.